Hey, what's up everyone? This is Snackbox. Hope you all are having a great day. Guys, in today's video, I want to give you a list of champions, a small list of champions that are providing probably one of the most important debuffs for Chimera, and that is decrease speed. Now, decrease speed allows you to take more turns, right? You're slowing the Chimera down, you take more turns, and that's what it's all about. You want to take as many turns as possible and make sure you are catching up on a speed. It also allows you to have more control over the forms and trials. You have more turns to get trials done, and it just pushes your damage and helps overall. And there are a few champions that are doing it better than others because they're also doing other stuff. And we're gonna start off. I'm just gonna go from the top to the bottom through the factions, and the first one I want to talk about is Tuhanarak. Tuhanarak is actually available for new players as well with the promo code Desert Queen, and I think she's an absolutely amazing champion that provides many debuffs and buffs, and most important, the decreased speed on the A1, even though it's just a 50% chance that it lands. If you book this skill, if you have an ally attacker or a debuff extender, this can work as good as any other decreased speed champion. On top of that, she's providing heal for your team. She can also place a decreased attack and a block buffs on the A2, which has a 100% chance if booked. And then in terms of buffs, she can put up the increased defense and increase speed. So she slows down the Chimera and also speeds your team up. And on top of that, she has a budget cleanse, so to say. And if your allies are under continuous heals, she will remove 2 random debuffs instead of 1. Pretty good, because all she has to do for this passive is take a turn. So yeah, pretty amazing champion, a lot of debuffs and buffs. So we have 3 debuffs and 2 buffs in total that are relevant for trials. The continuous heals are just, helping to survive. Also, she has a pretty high accuracy aura. It's, 70 accuracy is not bad if you still need it to hit the accuracy thresholds. Definitely not to be underestimated. And it's a void affinity champion as well, so you don't have to worry about weak hits. Then we're gonna move on to the Ogrins, and this is the first mythical champion. I unfortunately don't have him, but this champion is absolutely amazing for Chimera, and he does so many things, and it is Gizmag. Gizmag has also a decreased speed debuff here. On the A2, it is a 3-turn cooldown if it's booked, so realistically, you want to make sure to extend this decreased speed or be fast enough so we can replace it, because placing it for 2 turns, if you're not fast enough, it might fall off, and that's something you want to avoid, right? So if you're using him as your only decreased speed champion, you might want to make sure that he's fast enough to replace it. But that's not the only thing he does. He also has 3 very important buffs: increase crit damage, increase crit rate, and increase speed. So again, another champion that is slowing the Chimera down and speeding your team up. And on top of that, he's also providing damage buffs, which are absolutely amazing. And then he gets an extra turn, so you can actually cycle this decreased speed debuff back pretty fast. But that's not all. He's also having a chance on the passive to place a HP burn debuff, which is also needed for some trials. And then the most important thing that people are using him for is the pain link on a second form for the reflect trial, and he can do that pretty quickly and easily. And then he can also place a decreased defense on the A2 in the second form, but most of the time you want to use him in the first form to maintain the decreased speed. So yeah, absolutely amazing champion, but it's a mythical, very hard to get, but if you have him, you're a lucky person. Then we're gonna move on to the Lizardman, probably one of the most popular ones that is being used in Chimera, and that is Necmo. And Necmo has a really solid kit for pretty much every team, right? He has a 30% turn meter boost with increased speed, where he gets an extra turn. And then you have decreased speed and leech on the same skill, as well as decreased attack on A1. And yeah, he's absolutely amazing for Chimera because he cycles those skills back so fast and, is just boosting the turn meter of your team over and over again, and just make sure you take many turns, and also has a speed aura. So yeah, very amazing champion. Since the Chimera release, he definitely gained a lot of value. Super solid champion. Also, he doesn't need a lot of books. If you're lucky enough to just book his A2 and A3, you need 2 on the A3 and then 5 on the A2. If you're lucky enough to hit those 7 books, you're good to go. Most of the time, you're not going to build him for damage. And you don't really need to book the A1 because it's not increasing the debuff chance for the decreased attack. Another Lizardman I want to talk about, which is accessible for pretty much everyone, is Ramantu. So if you're lacking decreased speed champions, he's definitely a good option, as he's also providing 3 other debuffs on the same skill. So that's decreased defense, weaken, decreased speed, and block buffs on the same skill, which is absolutely amazing. I wish you could place the block active skills with his A3. You have a buff removal, so that's good. But if it was excluding this condition on bosses, that would be amazing. To place block active skills on the Viper form, I think that would make him much more viable. But as he is right now, he's also very good, and everybody can get him from missions, right? So that's why I had to put him on the list. And then we have some skinwalkers. First, I want to talk about Gwendolyn. Absolutely amazing champion. I don't have her, unfortunately, but this champion is also providing a few debuffs and buffs. So we have decreased speed, leech, and decreased accuracy on the same skill. So that's 3 debuffs. And skills like this scream for Chimera, right? You want to place multiple things with, one skill. And she's definitely doing this. And then we have here increased accuracy on all allies. But the block debuffs here is conditional. In the best case scenario, the Chimera doesn't have block debuffs. So, there's probably no chance to steal it. But if you steal it on the Viper form, maybe, you will place it on all allies, but just for 1 turn. So yeah, I wouldn't rely on that. But the fact that she brings decreased speed, leech, and decreased accuracy is already good enough. All these debuffs are definitely needed for some of the trials. And then her passive is also very interesting, which grants her an extra turn after using 3 skills. It doesn't matter which ones. And that is pretty cool because it allows you to cycle your skills back faster, and keep up the debuffs and buffs. So yeah, absolutely amazing. Then we have Snick Track, which I pulled recently, and I'm very surprised how good he actually works in Chimera. He has a decreased speed on the A2 on a 3 turn cooldown if it's booked. And also he's placing a shield buff with the same skill. Then he has decreased attack on the A1, reflect damage on the A3, and ally protection. And the passive is whenever an ally under reflect damage is attacked, he will place a leech. So he also has a leech, but he will only place it if he has that reflect damage buff up. On top of that, he also has a damage reflecting passive. So he's very good to complete that reflect damage trial. And the fact that he can do that, place decreased attack, place shield, and also the decreased speed, which has 100% if booked, makes him such a good choice for some Chimera weeks where these trials are rewarding mythical mats. Then we're gonna move on to the Knights Revenant, and here we have a very popular poison activation champion, which is Theodore. And Theodore has the decreased speed on A1. It only has a 50% chance to place it. Kind of a similar situation as we have with Tuhanarak, but still he can do it. Now, if you would give him the Sniper Mastery, this increases the chance of placing any debuff from skills or artifacts by 5%. That means he would have a 55% chance to place a decrease speed, which helps a lot because that means you're going to place it more than half of the time. But not only can he place a decreased speed, he's also one of the best champions to deal with the poison trials, as he's placing poisons and poison sensitivity, as well as increased speed. And remember, for the poison trial, you need to deal poison damage very quickly to be able to complete the whole 3 trials, right? So he's placing poisons, the poison sensitivity, which you also need, and then he's speeding up the whole team. And then on the A3, he's increasing the duration of all poison debuffs and then instantly activating them, which helps you to get this poison trial out of the way very quickly. All you have to do basically is either reflect those poisons from the Viper form or place them, take another turn and use this poison activation skill. But not only can he, place poisons, the decreased speed, and activate them, he can also place a weaken if you really need it. And yeah, just an absolutely amazing champion. Definitely the best in slot for these poison trials, and has also an accuracy aura on the lower side, but still, an all battles aura is always nice to have. I actually forgot one in the demon spawn faction, and that is Lamassu. Also, another free-to-play champion, basically available for everyone at some point. You can collect fragments from the siege chest. You have to win the siege, so it can take some time. She's placing the decreased speed and block buffs on the same skill on her A2. Unfortunately, you cannot place the True Fear on the Chimera, but still decreased speed and block buffs, 2 very important skills, because the block buffs is basically making sure that the Chimera is not placing the increased speed, which definitely helps. Then you have the decreased attack on the A1, and also a very interesting A3, which removes all debuffs from a single ally and places 2 intercept stacks on them. Then fills the turn meter by 50% and resets the cooldowns of all of their skills. And this is actually very amazing because this can be very helpful if you need to place a specific debuff, or you need your damage dealer to go next and deal damage, or whatever the situation is. You can use it in different situations to complete trials, and this is an absolutely amazing skill. On top of that, she's also decreasing resistance and accuracy from the Chimera, and it stacks up to 100. So this is also very, very helpful. And not to forget, she has a pretty high all battle speed aura, 24%. Now we're gonna move to the Sylvan Watchers, another mythical champion that I've been lucky enough to pull. And this is, one of my favorite mythicals that I have, especially for Chimera. She does so many things, but the most important thing is this passive right here. When attacked, places a 30% decreased speed debuff on the attacker for 2 turns. Occurs once per hit. Basically, all you have to do with this champion is swap forms, and then you're gonna have the decreased speed up all the time. Obviously, you have to have enough accuracy, as it's not ignoring resistance, but still, this allows you basically to keep up the decreased speed as soon as you go into the forms, which helps a lot. On top of that, her passive is also decreasing the damage taken by all allies by 20%, so she will take the damage instead. Then you have this A1, which puts up more continuous heals, the A2 with leech and HP burn, and a stone skin buff on the A3, which is very unique and allows you to keep up the dual buff, for example. She can be your dual target, and that way you can complete this trial. On top of that, her first form is also amazing. She has a block active skills, which has a 40% chance, not high, but still can be used, right? Then she can increase the duration of all ally buffs, which can also make a huge difference, and a big 30% turn meter boost on the A3 with increased attack and increased accuracy. So she's providing a lot of buffs, a lot of debuffs, exactly what you want for a CHIMERA battle. And then we have one of the highest all battle speed aura, which is 25%. We're gonna stay in Sylvan Watchers, and the next in line is Firo. He has the decreased speed on the A1. It has a 100% chance, and it is ignoring 20% of the target's resistance if it's a boss, which the CHIMERA is, and that means you don't have to stack that much accuracy on him, which is absolutely amazing. The same thing counts for the A2, where he places decreased accuracy and block buffs, so that's 3 debuffs, and then also 2 more buffs, which is increased resistance and perfect veil. So 3 debuffs and 2 buffs. And if that's not enough, he's also having a very interesting passive, which increases your allies' resistance, accuracy, and the damage if you have 4 buffs or more. And by the way, this combination of decreased accuracy and increased resistance is very unique, and you need both of those to complete one of the trials on the Viper form, and that makes him probably the best candidate for that. On top of that, he has an all battles resistance aura, which can also help you to make sure you have enough resistance to resist those debuffs. Yeah, that's pretty much my list of the best decrease speed champions that we have so far. I have a couple of honorable mentions here. Oella is definitely one of them, with a 100% chance decrease speed on the A1. Other than that, she's not providing that much, but she has a buff increase on the A2, and then a turn meter boost and a increased resistance buff on the A3. If you have her, maybe she will help you in CHIMERA. Definitely a solid option. Not the best, but can be used here and there. And then I want to talk about an epic, which is Mausoleum Mage. He also has the decreased speed on the A1. It's also a 50% chance, but besides that, he's also providing an increased crit rate buff, increased defense, block debuffs, and has a cleanse and a heal. So yeah, if you're looking for a budget champion that can do all these things on top of the decreased speed, he's the one. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know in the comments below if you have some suggestions for good decrease speed champions for CHIMERA. Maybe I forgot 1 or 2, I don't know, but I think I pretty much covered the best ones. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed, please hit the like button. It really goes a long way. Also, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more raid content. The YouTube algorithm is going to suggest you a video that you might like right here, and see you in the next one.